my mentors a long time ago, he would always walk in with a gift and walk out. And he used to, hey, I just want to introduce myself. And he made personalized chocolates with a foot. It was a chocolate foot. And he would walk into any store and he would like, I'm just trying to get my foot in the door, and drop in the chocolate and leave. And it had his card and his business name.
That is genius.
So if you are that kind of a shy person, every shy person loves to do a good deed. If you walk in doing a good deed with no expectations of anything coming back to you, the odds of you closing become incredibly higher because your confidence boosts. All right, so today we are gonna go over how to generate leads with AI. So most importantly, I have a special guest with me today that's been doing this process and he's absolutely killing it. And today we're not only gonna show you how to do it, but you're gonna walk away with a complete process of how to generate the leads and how to close the leads. So for anybody that's been watching, we're doing all kinds of series where we're bringing other experts on who are in the GHL community and are just really rocking it out. Again, these are true and tested, verified people that have won awards that I know personally, that I've talked to, hung out with, and more importantly, I respect them as individuals. Now, this individual is quite a connection to catch. He's wearing Versace robes. He's walking around. He calls himself the GHL Wizard. And I'm happy to present, we have my friend here, Declan O'Reilly, and he's going to talk about all these different ways that we can not only generate leads, but close leads. So Declan, don't want to do any disjustice by not introducing you properly. So tell us a little bit about yourself, including the robes.
All right. Well, first thing I want to say, Nuno, thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate it. Big fan of your channel. So I basically come from a marketing background, but I think something that makes what I have very unique is I also own a hair salon. Yeah, right. So I understand what it's like to both be on the marketing side / AI SaaS side, plus boots on the ground, brick and mortar business. So it's like, I got that kind of that dual vision to really see. And I think that's why, I've had a lot of success with this. But today I'm super pumped to show you some stuff that I have used, especially with my students, which is just using AI to get leads and then how to close them with, 21 different killer ways. So I hope it lives up to your expectations.
Oh, no, I'm pretty sure it will. But hold on, now I got to go back a little bit. So first of all, the hair salon. So is that where this Versace robe? I got to ask about the robe, man. I got to ask about the robe.
Yeah, so really interesting, okay? I'm going to keep this as brief as I can because I could go on a tangent. So the whole point of the bathrobes is way back in 2019 when I, quit my job, decided to go into this space, which was way back in the day was just marketing. It wasn't what it is now.
Sure.
I basically quit my job, and back when I was a kid, I loved to wear bathrobes. And when I first quit, I told everyone at my job, which is Penske, the truck dealership, I told them, I was like, I'm going to work for myself and I'm going to wear bathrobes all day. And basically they were like, oh, you're stupid, man. And in the beginning, it was more of this thing to myself that I would never go back to a 9-to-5. I will never, this is the covenant with myself to never go back to a 9-to-5. And then it just became a shtick. I had a robe on and then I bought more of them. And I guess now I have a bathrobe.
So now you have a bathrobe collection. That's amazing. But okay, so a lot more respect for you. But I just thought it was like, all right, this guy's either a kook or he's wearing these bathrobes. But no, but that's awesome. And I totally respect that. I don't know if you know this or not, but my wife, a lot of my videos over the last 3-something months have been building my wife's med spa business out. She's a one-woman shop. So a lot of the stuff that we've been doing with AI has really been helping her run her shop by herself. So it's ironic. And you just said you own a hair salon too. This is, again, folks, real people that used to work 9-to-5 jobs that, are out there. Is just, again, this works. And we're not selling you something that we're not doing ourselves. I'm using this entire process to help my wife's med spa. I have 2 other businesses that we're running. And now you just met another individual who quit his 9-to-5, runs a business, and also runs a marketing agency and a CRM on top of it. So the entrepreneurs trying to create something out there and really building something for themselves. But again, as we all know, this show, we're all about let's show people how to do things because we want you to walk away with the same assets that allows you to do the same things. So Declan, you know what? I'm just going to turn it over to you. So let's go ahead and share our screen and let's get to work, man. Let's show these people what it's all about.
So real quick before we jump in, Nuno, I just wanted to let you know too, just going back with the hair salon, is that I actually just won an award. I don't know if you can see it back there, but it basically was for my hair salon, and it's Best of Pill, which is the town it's in. And it's basically a award that you get as a service-based business. It's different than the SaaS awards, but you get it for basically your reviews and the local chamber of commerce ranking how good your business was. And we got Best of Percival because we have so many 5-star reviews on Google. Thanks to my SaaS.
I was going to say, how did you get those reviews? Was it your SaaS?
Reputation management, baby. But the good thing is, though, which was really cool, is the amount of word of mouth growth that we got aside with the marketing, just because obviously you're not going to go down that rabbit hole, but just with having a good service, then having the digital aspect.
Well, the back end structure to allow it to all happen. Absolutely. So I totally get it. So again, today we're going to show you how to generate leads. So again, Declan, what was your thought process behind this? Like, what are we trying to do here?
So great question, So basically what we're doing here is we're going to use AI to generate a ton of qualified leads in seconds, and then show you 21 different ways to close said leads. Because two big things I see online all the time with people is, one, they're just trying to get you to buy a scraper that's not that good, where you can get leads for free. That's the first big thing. So you don't got to get a scraper, you can get them for free. The second thing that's really big is a lot of people in the SaaS AI agency space, they know of like 3 methods of getting clients, and they only do that, which is like cold email, cold SMS, and something else. They don't seem to branch out. So it's like, as someone that's gone through, that's won the awards, I'm sure you can agree with this, like there's so many other things you can do to generate paying clients as soon as today, if you're just willing to work it. And that's really what I want to share with you, because if I can show you how to get the leads, I can then show you how to close them. So it's like, I personally think this video is gold, just because I use it with my students. I really send it to anyone that's just trying to make money with a SaaS business or an AI agency. So the first thing, and I'll just breeze through this really fast, is just the ability to find leads on Google. So it's really as simple as this. So what we're going to do is we're just going to start with this. So we're just going to type in plumber. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to do @gmail.com and quotation marks. Now, I just want to let you know, you can do this with literally any single niche and any single contact method. That could be WhatsApp, that could be phone number, that could be, you name it. You just have to put brackets, number in there. So what we're going to do is @gmail.com, and then we're going to pick an area. So we're going to do Washington, DC, because I am near there. So we're going to click enter. And then what you'll see, if we scroll right on down, all of their Gmails will pop up. Okay. It will literally bring all of their Gmails right into space. And again, you can do this with numbers, phone, anything. And what I recommend you do to really turbocharge this is get a free Chrome extension called Google 100 Results, which will give you 100 results on Google.
Oh, nice.
And it's completely free. Okay, you just go on, you get it for free. And then all you have to do once you have found niche, keyword, location is you come here, you take as many of these bad boys as you want. Okay, you come right into ChatGPT, Grok, Gemini, whatever you use, and just go, please organize these by business name, then email. Paste everything you have in and click enter. And then what it's going to do is it's going to basically build you a list for free. And you can do this with WhatsApp. You can do this with phone. Literally any contact method, even social medias, which I personally have done a lot of cold DMing. I think it's awesome if you do it properly. This just gives you the ability to get leads in any which way you want. And then from here, you can basically put them in and then you get them.
Wow. Super simple process. Thank you. What, like about 100, if not, right?
Oh, no, you're talking about 100, but get this, Nuno. This is
page 1.
You have so many different pages. You have so many different niches. You have so many different keywords, and you have so many different locations. It's almost unlimited combos you could put here.
So then, you start mixing up like plumber, a licensed plumber, and like all different keywords for the different kind of plumbing jobs that there are. Very cool. Very, very cool.
It's basically the ability to have unlimited leads. As the saying goes, like, give a man a fish, he eats for a day. Teach a man how to fish, feeds himself forever. This is that. I'm teaching you how to fish.
Yeah, this is great. All right, very cool, simple. Anybody can do this. This is super simple.
And Nuno is free. So,
you like free.
Yeah, exactly. But then what you want to do is you want to basically get your leads, and you can organize this any which way you want. Put them in a spreadsheet or a Google Sheet. And then what I would do is I would come in a HighLevel and then upload them into GoHighLevel or whatever, CRM you're using, however your leads, whatnot, but a Google Sheet will suffice. And then you just get them in here. So the first way on this list is a classic, an oldie but a goodie, which is cold emailing. And by the way, just to let you know before we go into this, these are not in any particular order, not best to least or least to best. They're just listed out. So the first we're going to go into is cold email.
So in cold emails, right? Like, I'm a big components for anybody that doesn't notice. I'm big on like email deliverability and making sure we're always delivering. Now, remember, with all this being said, you're pulling all these leads. They never heard of him before. Cold email means that you got to be really careful where you're sending the cold email out from, right? We use systems like Instantly, which are cold email software, Apollo. There's a million one out there. Declan has his way to do it. If you are going to be using HighLevel, you got to be super careful with it because you will burn the domain if it's your main domain. And you can only have one domain per GHL sub account. So you just want to make sure you're really careful. But how do you prefer doing it now, Declan?
So I actually don't do as much cold email as I used to. And I actually do refer people to Instantly or whatnot. It's more of just the strategy that I recommend. But yeah, as far as, sending it out, other softwares are probably better than GoHighLevel. GoHighLevel is much better for like warm email, as you know. But really for, once you launch it out, what I like to do really simply, and you can use ChatGPT to generate yourself a bunch of copy. But what I like to do is I like to just get Loom. Again, you can use a free trial or whatever you want to do with this and create a basic video on someone's like Google business profile or whatever, their website. Just give them a free audit and send like that. If you're doing it one-to-one, which is like smaller, if you're doing the big blasts, then it's best to actually have like copy and a full drip sequence.
And I've gotten a few of these. This is a pretty well-known strategy. And I got to be honest, sometimes it sells me. Sometimes a person's either redesigned my entire site and is telling me, hey, listen, by the way, this is before there was Loom videos. This is how I used to sell websites. I literally would design like the page for the customer and then send an email, hey, I rebuilt this for you. I want you to get a better website. I don't like the way it looked. I redesigned it for you. If you want to buy it, just respond back to me and I'll give you the site for, like we could talk about a price or whatever else. And out of every 10 emails that I sent, and you're like, you built 10 pages out? Well, back in the day, man, when you're looking for business, yeah, I built 10 websites out because if anything, if I didn't sell them, then I had a whole template library for different niches that I could keep sending to different people. So it became a thing to do. Believe it or not, this was before video. So way before video, this was my tactic.
It clearly worked.
And that's true. I'm still here, right? So cool. So you do a Loom video, you send it out to cold email. You're using like a software like Instantly if you're planning on doing mass. If not, you're just literally doing it from your own personal email in your Gmail. Do it a couple a day, super personal, and then just reaching out to the client. Pretty awesome.
Simple as that.
And what do you say? What do you say in that email, man?
So for the bigger emails, that comes down to a lot of copywriting if you're doing the big blast. So I recommend, looking more into that because there's just so many different ways to do it. You could do the story sequences. You can do just calling out pain points. For the personal though, I really just try to keep it as short as possible and as direct to the point. Even throw in a couple misspelled words, like make it very clear that it is a personal email. Because when you start to get bigger, people know that it's a blast. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so I think it's the unscalable ability, like Hormozi likes to call it, that you can do with the smaller stuff. But for the bigger stuff, there's just so many different strategies, so many different, kinds of sequences you can use, automations and stuff involved. And hopefully as these AIs get better, you can really have these bots answer emails, get better at kind of responding. So that's a big thing that is coming up. So the second method I have on here is a classic, which is cold calling. It is very simple. You pick up your phone and you call said person. With the leads you scrape, you can get their phone number. I'm really not going to go too far into this. There's a lot of different tactics in cold calling. You can go into, calling out a direct pain point. You can be like, hey, your number wasn't working, or your address on your Google business profile wasn't working. Simple stuff like that. Unfortunately, using AI for outbound robocalls is illegal in the United States right now. So I'm not really sure you can do mass cold calling, or you can get a call center that also works. But for the vast majority of people just, starting out, I think cold calling is a great way to do it. I don't know if you did a lot of cold calling, I
did, man. Back in the day, again, I'm just going to kind of age myself. One of my first jobs was I was a cold caller for a bank. And we had to call to get like home equity loans. And he was like, hey, Mr. O'Reilly, this is Nuno calling from Bank of America. We just like to let you know that we have great rates and everything else. So this was the worst one versus.
It's like the worst.
Yeah, it was. He used to get hang up on, cursed on people. It was like the worst job ever. And we had to make like 500 calls a day sometimes. So it was insane. It was literally like ring after ring. And they had to call things. It was crazy. And then you got better at it. Then I started with tactics like, hey, Mr. O'Reilly, he's like, I'm calling from Bank of America. And, I used to go really off script and I used to get in trouble. I used to like, I have some really bad news. They're like, is something wrong with my account? No, I think you're paying way too much on your mortgage. And I think we have a lower rate for you. And you can keep paying that. But it like immediately like shocked them. Sometimes they get yelled at. I got in trouble for it once. But you can come up with like different cold callings. Actually, to this day, the best. I've gone way less into the cold methods. And now I try like different approaches to get in. But they're still effective. There's a couple of buddies of mine who are all over YouTube that all they do is cold calls. and you literally see him calling customers left and right. I've aged myself quite a bit. I put my stripes in on this one already. So I have now refused to do cold calls. But when I first started out, but if I had to start over again, I always say this, if I had to start over again, all I need is a phone and a computer. And that's it. I can start it from scratch, from ground zero. And I've done it multiple times in my lifetime. Like I said, I just think I've graduated from this. But cold email campaigns, cold. I do like the Loom stuff video. Believe it or not, in the cold calling, you can do the same thing and be like, hey, Mr. Johnson, don't want to waste your time right now. I redesigned your entire website because I couldn't stand looking at it. And I'm not saying that to be mean, but I want to send you a pretty redesigned site, or I made this thing for you, whatever it might be, to help you generate reviews. I'd like to send it to you by mail. Are you cool with that? If not, just give me your address or I'll just mail it to you. I just wanted to get your permission before I did. And hang up the phone and you're done. Or first line always worked, especially when I was in, like, this is back then, mind you, this is almost 20 years ago. Can I speak to the man of the house? And it was like always this like weird pause. And they're like, but I get it. And when I had to call businesses, it would always be, I need to speak to a manager. I need to speak to a manager. I don't need to tell you what. And I used to sound like I'm mad. And all of a sudden, hey, sorry to be direct, but I was trying to get through to you. But you got to kind of develop your own style, because no matter how many scripts are put in front of me and how many cold, I eventually just developed my own. And now you have so much AI that can help you do this. And you can say, write me 15 cold scripts, and you got to practice in the mirror, especially with cold calling. Because the second you get a curse flying at you or somebody starts getting angry and you're like, versus like, well, and I'll tell you a funny one because this is probably going to go longer. We're going to go on tangents here. But for one of the calls is like the person started immediately going, how dare you call me late at night? It was like 5 o'clock. And it was like, how dare you call me at this hour of the night? You know, blah, 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 all these. And he starts talking about my moms. I'm like, sir, we've only been in the, and I literally interrupted him. I said, sir, we're 1 minute into the conversation. We're already at moms. Can we take it down a notch? Can we go to like normal cursing and then go work our way to moms? And the guy just started laughing. And then he broke down and we just started talking, you know? So it was like, you got to be ready for the different things that come your way when you start doing these things. I mean, just be prepared, but these are definitely different ways that you can go out there. But I don't want to prolong you. Let's go to number 3, man.
All right, number 3 is social media outreach. Okay, this is one of my favorites. And if you combine this with some very powerful software, you can absolutely crush it. So if you come to Google, you can do the same thing we did before, okay, where you can put in keyword, then you can put in the social media handle. Then what you can do is you can basically go through all of these leads, okay, and just direct message them. But what you can also do is you can use softwares like FlowChat to immediately auto DM and just absolutely attack all these people very quickly and very easily. You can scrape leads. You can make them into lookalike audiences on Facebook. It's amazing. You can do all kinds of stuff. That way you can completely automate this. But you can also just do it one-on-one, which is the personal approach, you know, the classic, get on your phone and message them. And there's really 2 kinds of messages that will get through to anyone via cold DMing, okay? The first one is a shared pain point, okay? You go in and you immediately talk about something that you have in common with the person. You don't lie. You don't ask them, you know, oh, do you like this movie? Not like that. But like a lot of people don't like marketers. You can ask them like, did you get scammed by a marketer? Did you do this, do that? That immediately breaks the service. And if they can respond, 80% of the battle is done with cold DMing. You got to get them to respond. Second part of that, that's just absolutely killer, Nuno, is a shared pain point, which is directly calling out something on their profile, on their business, whatever. And that will break the ice also. And then from there, there's a whole bunch of other, you know, micro methods to get them in. But the thing you do not want to do is go directly for the pitch. I see people do this so much. You get them, I get them. It does not work anymore, at least very rarely. Even from really big people, because everyone expects it. People from overseas do it. Keep it very, very in those 2 categories and not spammy, and you'll be golden. That's what I've done. I even, if you see on the wall, I won one of their awards doing this because I've done cold DMing so much. It's one of my bread and butters, man. So
awesome. And I agree. I like the personal ones too. I like when people do a little research. You can even immediately, like the more you get them, that you can immediately spot the ones that are like the standard, hey, are you looking for new clients? Like, oh my God, stop. I'm like, no, not right now. Actually, I'm good. Thank you. I have enough. SEO. Wow. You're bringing an old school back, huh?
Yeah, the long one. It takes forever, but it can work.
Now, what's funny is I have a good buddy of mine. His name is Kazim Aslam. He's one of my business partners. And he's about to launch this big, crazy AEO, which is like the next level of SEO. And for anybody that wants to look it up, honestly, just wait a few weeks. He's going to be doing a pretty big presentation on it. He's basically cracked the code on it. But AEO now is going to be where the next level of SEO is. For anybody that doesn't know what SEO is, search engine optimization. And what this does is it just helps Google and other search engines find who you are. So probably, as Declan's going to show you in about a minute, it's again, making sure you have the right words on the page that's going to generate traffic to you. But AEO will help you start showing up on actual, all these bots. So AEO starts focusing on the bots showing you up. Funny thing is, a lot of my friends now will actually send me like a video or a screenshot of me showing up on some of the GHL things because of the AEO that I'm doing on my videos and on my websites. So when you ask ChatGPT how to do A2P for HighLevel, I pop up all over the place because I've pretty much conquered that SEO and that search area. But I've also done it with the bots where they're pulling my information and knowledge in order to get past, A2P or whatever else. Just giving you an idea of like where the next future of things are going. So not only is SEO still viable, it's graduating to AEO where the bots are using SEO and AEO to make it searchable for you. So very viable. Show me what you got here, man.
Well, just the classics. Making sure you have the right, H1s on your page, the right body copy, making sure all your metadata is dialed in, simple stuff like that. Making sure that you have, your Google business profile connected because local SEO is a big part of ranking your website. Okay, making sure you're getting reviews through reputation management. Just the simple stuff, not a masterclass on it, but I think with a lot of people, if you are trying to get or ranked in a local town, okay, very simply, you can get a website up, something simple, plumber marketing in Idaho, whatever, and you can do pretty well, or you can go more national, but that just takes more time. And now you brought up the whole AEO thing, which is just a whole new ball game, which I do think a lot of people will be making off like bandits with. So, all right, number 5 is video content. Okay, to be honest, we're not going to go into this too much, but it's basically just creating YouTube videos, especially if you're going after a certain niche and conquering that niche. Actually, Nuno, since you have a much bigger YouTube channel, I'd like you to quickly just give a blurb on this one.
You got to just show off your expertise, even if it's to a small audience. It took our channel about 2 years to grow to like 19,000 subscribers. And I got to be honest, it was just showing off what we knew and did. What is common knowledge for you is not common knowledge for other people. And if you're doing with the right intentions, like my intention to everybody is to keep people and businesses moving forward. That's like my motto. I just don't like anybody being stand still with they're unhappy with something or whatever else. So that motivates me to create content all the time, bring you people like Declan, like you see here, but just putting yourself out there, and you don't have to put your face out there. The biggest problem and hesitation that people have, I don't want to show my face. No, there's tons of faceless YouTube channels that are making millions of not showing their face and just teaching things. Go out there, teach something make sure there's a reference in a way. More importantly, you're offering something. If you're creating content and you're not offering a lead magnet or capturing their information, it's kind of a wasted space. I give away all kinds of guides, links, more video content, courses, free courses, whatever they want, just to get themselves out there. So I'm a big component of it. A lot of my leads do come from YouTube because at the end of the day, as much as I try to show everybody how to do it themselves, some people just want somebody to do it for them. And that's where I can come in and do some of the things for them. And Declan, same exact way. A lot of the business we generate is coming from YouTube. And again, it doesn't really matter the size of your channel, as long as you have an offer or somewhere where people can go to find you and to talk to you. So just put a lead out there, write some video content, make sure it's quality, and just keep producing it. And consistency will always win inside of YouTube. Rocking and rolling, man. What's the next podcast?
Okay, this one is really important though, because if you come right in here and you go to the Royal Examiner, this is a news media outlet. They're a subsidiary, however you say that word, of NBC News. And I actually got featured multiple times, as you see down here, did a ribbon cutting ceremony in here. This was a couple years ago, back in 2023, January. This was how I broke through with my marketing agency, because what this does, okay, and by the way, if you think this is only something special that I could do, this is in every town. CNN, CNBC, Fox News, every media outlet has a bunch of subsidiaries that have to capture the local news network. Here are the 2 fastest reasons why this is so incredibly insane for you. Number 1, it gives you exposure from the news outlets. Okay, they will push you to all the business owners, and it's an easy way to get leads. Some of the biggest clients I first got, okay, like 3, 4, 5,000 a month came from this. Second big thing, news outlets have possibly the biggest email lists of all time. And guess what? When you get featured in a town talk, an interview, guys, they're literally everywhere. They will push you to their entire list. And most of the time it's free. You can pull up, you just got to befriend the people. I mean, this was how I broke out really with my marketing agency in the beginning, was just getting featured in these, and it was free for me. And it got so many big leads came to me, like so many, because guess what? They were propping me up. All right, number 7 is referral systems. Honestly, I'll keep this one short. I recommend you go to acquisition.com. Okay, I'm not even joking. This video is free. It's incredible. And what this will do is this will show you how to build the perfect referral playbook. I use this. I don't know if you've seen this video, Nuno.
One of my favorite videos of all time.
So good. But I was going to come up with a whole presentation on this. But why, when there's something that's very short and incredible right here? for you to have for free. Go to acquisition.com, go under courses, go under leads course, go to referral playbook, and you will learn how to build an incredible referral system. Number 8 is events and conferences.
How Declan and I met.
All right, so what I recommend you do is you literally just search business expos or whatever in location. You can go to ChatGPT and do this, and you can find all kinds of amazing stuff on Google. Again, like Nuno said, that's how I met. So easy to meet really big fishes this way. Some of the biggest clients you'll meet, they'll be huge people that you can't get a hold of them via text, via email, because they're not the guys running that. You have to get many levels up. In my opinion, this is an extremely powerful way. Yes, you have to go talk to people. You have to have energy, and you can't be super socially awkward, but you land some big fish doing it.
You can't be socially awkward, yeah.
All right, number 9 is online community. So you have basics like school, you have Facebook groups, okay? You have Reddit, and then you have Quora. These are the really big ones. Now, with any of these, again, I know a lot of people hate when you go in. Again, like this is an annoying way to prospect, but it is so powerful. Facebook groups is goated. You can search literally any niche. Even Reddit, I've landed clients off Reddit. There's huge forums with like plumbers, HVAC electricians. It's actually a gold mine. And those 4, you can get a ton of clients going in. And really all you have to do is go in, go onto a thread, go into a thing, build some basic reciprocity with people, then start reaching out. Nuno, I don't know if you have any thoughts on this, but I think this is still an incredible way to get clients. I know a lot of people hate this.
Yeah, I mean, we have a school community now, like everybody knows, it's free. We make a lot of really good friends there. Again, we have long-term friendships that I've made inside the marketing community have all been from groups, masterminds, groups, events. You got to go out there and you got to socialize a little bit. And honestly, it does work.
All right, number 10 is paid ads. Okay, so you can do basic Facebook ads, LinkedIn ads, TikTok ads, or Google ads. So here's one of the things about advertising. You know, I'm sure you'll agree. It is great if you already have an offer and it's something that is working. I don't think you do with like the softwares, but if you can scrape and get a lookalike audience from people on Facebook that you've already DM'd, that can work really well too on Facebook ads. But honestly, with advertising, you got to make sure that you already have an offer and something working, or this will literally, it'll just screw you up and you'll spend a ton of money. You know, I don't know if you have any thoughts on this, but I do see a lot of people.
Nope, we run ads.
Yeah.
We run ads, period. We run Google ads sometimes. We run Facebook ads. And necessarily, we do it more towards our lead magnets. We like the slow roll coming in. We rather people come to our universe. And then if they want to buy something, they go ahead and buy. Or if they want to get our services. Reason being, it just helps it a lot easier. And for us, it's hard. But in running a marketing agency, do we result to ads if business is starting to slow down, or we see like a perfect thing where we can make a lot of money, or if we're holding an event? 100% we do. And honestly, I still think it's pretty awesome.
Number 11 is just strategic partnerships. Very simple. That is just connecting with another agency, having someone do the outreach, or you do the outreach. You're just partnering people. Simple as that. I think it's a very easy way to do it. And I think a lot of these groups, just like we were talking about earlier, how Nuno was saying he met a lot of really good people in groups online. You can connect with people online and do this same exact thing. Someone does the fulfillment, someone doesn't. Again, if you're a bigger agency, you won't need to do this, but oftentimes you can connect with other things that work well. I mean, the world's run on partnerships. So I think it's an incredible way to do it, especially with a SaaS or marketing agency. Number 12 is website submissions. So this method is super good if it's coupled with other methods. Okay, so if you come in, so once you have those leads, okay, you just say you come in, you go to their website, okay, and you drop basically a website form submission with your info. A lot of people hate this, but if you're going from multiple ways and prospecting in multiple different channels, this can absolutely help crush it. Because again, you're getting a hold of them. That's the most important thing. If they don't know who you are, or you can't get a hold of them, nothing's really going to happen. So this is a great way to get a hold of people and just continue the effort to kind of win over their attention, so to speak, when that's really hard to do now. All right, number 13 is webinars.
Now, if anybody's interested in the webinar part, remember, Andy Adante, a good friend of ours here, he did a whole webinar presentation and how he does it, how he fills rooms, and how webinars still make it. And again, webinars are still huge. So it's something that we're definitely still actively doing. We sometimes have pre-made webinars after we actually host a webinar that we keep. So that stuff definitely happens. So understand that this is something that we are 100% doing more actively than we ever were.
And Nuno, real quick before we wrap up on this, what do you think about Go High Level's webinar feature?
It's up and coming. I think it definitely has a good way to basically go in there, just kind of get it up and running fast. And then all you got to do is like switch it. Actually, you can even upload the video and automatically does it. And then you just got to change the wording and a little bit of the styling, but overall not bad.
Okay, number 14 is building out a good lead magnet. Again, I'm going to recommend you to Alex. I used to actually have an entire training on this in my course, but ever since Alex put this out, I recommend you watch this video. I don't know if you've seen this, this personally has made me the most money out of any of Alex's videos.
Absolutely. Again, our lead magnet was based on that.
Bro, isn't Alex the best? Like,
really honestly is, yeah.
So good. This stuff. So I highly recommend you come here, guys. It's free. You come right in, you click Leads course, you go to Lead Magnet Mastery, watch it. Okay, number 15 is direct mail. Okay, so I've used companies like Every Door Direct in the past, okay? Or you can just personally, get a letter and write some stuff on it and send it to them. Here's what I'm gonna tell you about this. This is old fashioned, but this actually works so well. This also works really well for your clients. Big thing a lot of people don't, advertise or show is like, you can offer this kind of stuff and it actually crushes, especially for real estate agents and stuff like that. I don't know if you've ever done this before. But
not yet. It's something that we are looking into with my wife's spa. Like, this is something we're going to be doing.
No. I'm telling you right now, service-based business, this is literally, it slaughters.
That's awesome. Awesome.
Okay, number 16 is walk-ins.
So I'll give you a little pro tip on this one, and I shared it with some of my students that I've been doing. So one of my old methods and that I used to do, again, when we started inventing QR codes and we started getting in the game of helping people collect reviews, because again, HighLevel does review generation and helps you automate a lot of that process. What I did is I used to go in to a strip of businesses. Let's make believe I was going into a rural area that has a lot of shops. I will go in ahead of time and I would print a QR code with the actual Google review link in there for the customers. I put it in a plexiglass and I just put the logo on top. I would do like 25 or 30 at a time. And I would literally take these plexiglass, hit a street, like literally a whole street, just walk into the business and with an envelope, right? And this is my pitch. And I share this with a lot of my students on the exact process on how to do this. I would walk in the door, I would come in and I would literally have a small plexiglass with their QR code in there. And I just say, hey, listen, I love local businesses. I'm here to try to support. You don't owe me any money or anything for that. I just want your business to succeed. And you're not going to do it unless you have Google reviews. And you can just get more. You'll never hurt in getting more. Do me a favor. Put this on your counter. And anybody that closes, anytime you're ringing up somebody on the register, have them scan the code right then and there. And then I said, if this works, I'll be back in 3 days or a week. And I have other tools that can help you generate even more reviews and get people to come into your store. So if this works, keep it. If you decide not to hear from me after 7 days, it's all good. Now, what's great about these QR codes is that inside of HighLevel especially, and I've been doing this over for the last year, you can see how many times somebody clicks the QR code. So if all of a sudden you put in a store, you name the store, you put in their link, and all of a sudden you see a bunch of clicks happening in that QR code, you show up and go, hey, I think you just got like 30 clicks based on my little QR code reader here. It looks like you got a lot of reviews. Are you interested in a service that can help you automate all this so you don't have to worry about any of this going forward? Talk about the easiest way in. And then once I was in that way, the website came literally afterwards, because then I closed them with my second question that always closes. Are you happy with your current website? Yeah. Never is anybody ever happy with their current website. Right. And literally it was just like, after that, I'm like, hey, we also do website services. Are you happy with your current website? 9 out of 10, it was always a no. And then sometimes it's like, well, let me do this. I'm going to pre-design a landing page for it. You tell me if it's cool. If it is, you buy the rest of it. And I'll sell it to you for a good discounted price because you already got my review services. And then I just kept selling. Hey, I have an AI bot that now answers calls. You want it? Yeah. You know? And it's just like, I became this overly contagious, like I grew on the individual and just kept going in. But that plexiglass deal, and again, my tip to all you guys, makes it super easy. You can make this happen for pretty much anybody out there. So again, awesome. I 100% still do walk-ins to this day. My wife is embarrassed with me sometimes because she's like, don't do the QR thing, code, please. It'll be like a book bag store, like, oh, no, but what was it? I think we were in a fancy like jewelry store. And she's like, you're going to embarrass me. Please don't embarrass me. Please don't embarrass me. I walked in with the QR code. But they took it and became a client. So I was like, maybe I can get you a discount. But all joking aside, yeah, still incredibly viable. 1,000%.
Well, one last thing, because I love that story. I love stuff like that where you get creative, because what I would do too is like, if I ever had, because I used to go after lawyers primarily, if I ever had lawyers that were a little more like stubborn and would like all my wouldn't work, what I would do is I would just go to Starbucks or the local coffee store, figure out what their favorite kind of coffee was, and I just bring it to them after multiple follow-ups. And I'm telling you, it's that reciprocity rule, same thing. You can get into anything by helping someone first.
100%.
And just doing that, they'd be like, oh, he's not so bad. I'll hear his spiel.
But even if not, I became like the QR guy. You're the QR code guy. Like, right? I got to start walking around with a robe. I'd rather be known as a robe guy than the QR guy. I love these. These are great, man. It was just to show you how many possibilities there are for generating leads.
Oh, I love it as well. Well, one last thing on walk-ins too. And I actually, I know we're short on time, but I think because you have a lot of experience with this, just a little tidbit. I will say, in my experience, I do think walk-ins are still one of the best ways to get clients because it is direct and you can follow up infinite times. Do you have anything to say to people that are like terrified to do this? Because I talk to so many freaking people and I'm like, dude, I have some students that crush it with walk-ins. I've done it, but it is the least used because people are petrified of doing it.
So, but that's why I did it. So remember that cold calling story where, again, I was calling all these things I was getting cursed at and I broke it with humor. One of my mentors, a long time ago, this old banker, man, old guy, used to smoke like 17 cigarettes a day. And he used to do the same exact thing. He would always walk in with a gift and walk out, not even sell anything. Hey, I just want to introduce myself. And he made personalized chocolates with a foot. It was a chocolate foot. And he would walk into any store and he would I'm just trying to get my foot in the door and drop in the chocolate and leave. And it had his card and his business name.
That is genius. That is actually genius.
And I used to laugh. I'm like, that does not work. And I did it and it worked. And then, so if you are that kind of a shy person, every shy person loves to do a good deed. If you walk in doing a good deed with no expectations of anything coming back to you, the odds of you closing become incredibly higher because your confidence boosts. If I'm walking in there with a QR code that's going to help you generate reviews, I don't do anything. And if I don't want to talk, I used to walk in with an envelope because the business owners a pizzeria might be like slamming with customers. Yeah. And I would literally hand the QR code and it's, hey, something for your manager. I promised them this. And that's it. Because they would feel compelled to give it to their manager. He's like, I promised this. I said I was just going to do it and I totally forgot. Please make sure he gets this. And I would walk away. And in the envelope, we go listen, I was just trying to make sure that you got this. Please put this on your counter, generate reviews. If it works, here's my card. Come back to me. Because I did something super easy and super nice, it lowers your guard. It makes you feel more confident because I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't ask for your business. I'm doing something good. And literally you walk away. What's the worst that happened? You literally spent 50 cents on a stupid little Prexy card holder, maybe 2 hours of your time to help 25 businesses generate more reviews and stay alive in this crazy economy, right? So I don't feel bad about it whatsoever. And literally, if I walk in, there's always this, if they can connect who I am with the person that left that thing over, it is so easy. There are places that I still to this day get free ice cream and free pizza. And sometimes it's an 80-year-old woman at the counter that's been open for 40 years. Trying to sell that person a bot is not going to work. So you just sit there and it's Mary, I know you've been open for years. I know this is really super hard for you, but you got to get on Google. Let me do this for you. I'm just going to do this out of kindness of my heart. I'm going to put you up on a Google profile. I'm going to come in here with my laptop. You and I are going to do it together. I don't want any of your money. You know what I'm saying? Maybe throw me a slice of pizza or something when I come in with my kid. That's all sometimes I say. And I say that jokingly.
Yeah, I think it's smart because at least it doesn't sound like a scam.
And it isn't. It isn't. I honestly, genuinely want to help Mary, who's been there for 40 years. I don't want her shutting down. You know what I'm saying? During COVID, I can't tell you how many businesses in the local area, this is officially not a joke. We went in and we helped a lot of the local restaurants go online so they can stay open during. So people were then
good for you,
grabbing food on the car rides and they're developing different systems. We did it for a Chinese place that's been open here for 30 years. And they were going to shut down all doors because of all the stuff that was going on. And we helped them stay alive. They even made it where they made a shield. It was a crazy thing that we had to do. But I was part of helping them stay open. A brewery, same thing. They were selling it where it was a drive up and you would have to sit and drink it was some of the things we came up with that was really crazy. But there was a lot of really cool things you can do. But we were helping local businesses to stay open. And some of them to this day went virtual and they now have a virtual side where they're doing orders and people are just picking up. So it's got a lot of crazy things in there.
All right, number 17, freelance marketplaces. So very simply, you can go on Fiverr or Upwork, okay? Not going to go super in depth on this because there's so many things you can do. But this is a long-term strategy. It's a VA thing, but I do see people getting really good success, especially if you're really specialized at something. They are chatbots, they have voice agents, SEO, ads, whatever. You can build up a pretty nice portfolio. And after a while, it's almost like SEO. You're ranking within a platform or YouTube or however you want to think about it. And these can be great, especially if you are a smaller, agency just trying to or trying to come up. This can be a great way to do that. I don't know if you've ever done this kind of stuff, Nuno. I'm sure you've hired people.
Oh, 100%. I mean, a lot of that, once that QR code thing happened, we were shipping them too, because sometimes we were just trying to get to other rural areas. And that's what we did.
Okay. Number 18, again, not going to go super in depth on this, but lead generation agencies can be incredibly powerful if you have something already established. This is more an advanced one. I would not recommend hiring an agency, especially if they're very expensive, if you do not have an offer that's working and you do not have your fulfillment dialed in, because you will literally scale your problems and not your dollars.
Oh, I love that. Absolutely right.
I don't know if you have any
Absolutely right.
questions on that or any.
No. I mean, this is why it's like, I like it at number 18. It should be like number 21 if all else fails.
It's crazy because it can work really well if you have your dialed in, but it's
Absolutely.
like, man, it can just be terrible otherwise. Okay, number 19. This is what I truly made my bread and butter on in the early days, and that is networking. Okay, so we got multiple different networking places. Okay, you got BNIs, you got Chamber of Commerce, you have Rotaries, which is actually a gold mine, believe it or not. And then you can look up any sort of local networking event. Networking is similar to walk-ins. Be armed with some sort of how do you say the word?
I can't say it either. Give and it'll come back to you kind of thing.
Exactly. If you go in with any sort of gift, lead magnet, whatever you want to call it, I'm telling you right now, BNIs can be a gold mine for this because they'll connect people with you. Chamber of Commerce is also great, but Rotary, okay, is the hidden gold mine of them all. So I definitely recommend starting with BNIs. It's great. They're all great. But here's the thing about Rotary. Most people that have to get into politics have to do community service. Rotary is full of those kinds of people. In my opinion, I've brushed shoulders with some of the wealthiest people in my local area through Rotaries. And I have gotten some of the biggest fishes ever through Rotary. I remember a classic time where I got this guy, okay, he owned this massive farm, and he was paving some giant hospital driveway, some big deal, whatever. And he was at a Rotary. And I remember I brushed into him and he's like, "What do you do?" And I was like, "Oh, websites." But, I gave him my spiel. This was many years ago, maybe like 2022. But he brought me into a coffee shop, okay? And I remember him hiring me to build him a one-page website for $5,000. One-page website that I built in literally 3 hours.
Wow.
And I'm not even joking. I remember this was my first taste of actually having a decent amount of money for doing something that wasn't a lot of work. And I remember just being like, there are people in this game where the amount of dollars that I think is a lot to them is not. It's going up the ladder. And I found a lot of these people at Rotary. Now, BNI is also amazing and quality contacts and all these things are amazing. But I recommend if you are someone that can talk to people, okay, Nuno's really good at this. I'm relatively good. I know a lot of people in my group are. Please check out networking. It is one of the fastest, best ways to not only get leads, but get referrals. Nuno, I don't know if you have any thoughts on this. I want to wait a little bit long on that.
Well, no, I mean, honestly, couldn't start it off there also. And just you work yourself into other groups. And if you can nail some of the really important spots in some of these BNI groups and some of these Rotary groups, then you're in for a good long while. It is always definitely a good source of business, 110%.
All right, number 20 is business associations. Okay, so there is a bunch of different ways to find these. You can go on ChatGPT or Google. I'm not going to go too far into finding them. I have other videos on that. But this is a plumber one that I've joined a while ago. And then here's a landscaping one. Guys, business associations take forever to warm up, but in my opinion, they can be the most lucrative. I don't know if you know Josh Nelson.
Yeah, Josh Nelson. Yeah.
He's the one who brought me onto these many years ago. These print dollars if you get into them right. Because what will happen is you will get into an association and then you can get on their email list. You can do promos with them. I've done this before and it is insane. If you're going to niche down to a specific niche and really dominate that, associations, man, you can't go wrong. I mean, yes, it's a slow burner. I think it's ultra powerful if you get it working right. Okay, the last way on the list is simply put, warm outreach. Okay, I'll go into this very briefly. You just reach out to the people you know. What I like to do with this is I like to reach out to 20 different people that I know that either own a business or know someone that owns a business. And then you ask them this question because you don't want to come across as just bothering them. This is the trick. You send them a message, text, email, however you can get a hold of them, and you ask them, do you know anyone else that needs insert service here? That way, you're indirectly asking them and asking if they have a buddy that knows it. That way, you're not coming across as just begging people for, free stuff. You can come in and from there, you'll be golden. And, I think it's one of the fastest, easiest ways to get clients. I don't know what you think about this, Nuno, but I think warm outreach is the ultimate beginner thing that when you first
It is. And this is where the lead magnets and all those systems, I think this is what brings it all together. I think the warm outreach, hey, you just downloaded a lead magnet. What'd you think about it? You just downloaded a checklist. Hey, just joined my community group. Hey, I just joined the community. It's wherever you have these connections that you start building out. This is where it goes in. I mean, these are a lot of different ways that you can connect. So big lesson here, right? A lot of different ways to go out there and basically find leads. You found a way to generate leads. You found a way to communicate leads. And then we give you 21 different ways of even finding more leads. And that's what's super important about everything that's going on. So the big thing that Declan's trying to show you is that, one, you don't need a science degree to do all this. It does require a little bit of know-how and a little bit of understanding. But the most important thing of it is you kind of got to find out whatever your channel is and just go really good at one channel. If you're not big on making calls outbound, I don't blame you, neither was I. But I was forced to do it when I was younger because that's the job that I had. If you don't want to walk in and you're super shy, like I said, walk in with the gift, walk in with the card. Don't ask for business. Let the card do the talking and let the action do the talking. Like I gave you stories about the guy with the chocolate foot in the door, which was brilliant, made people laugh.
Genius.
Honestly, it worked every single time and it was really freaking funny. And at the end of the day, man, you do that with like, you bring some of that old school to some of these people that haven't seen something like that. It becomes like people will remember who you are. You know what I'm saying? Again, I don't know if I want to be known as a chocolate foot guy, but or the QR code guy, but at the end of the day,
if it gets you the sale, you know?
It does. But it's not even that. It gives you notoriety and it makes it easier for them to come to you because now their guard is down, your guard is down, and it makes the process a whole lot easier. But 21 ways to find different leads. And we gave you a bunch of different ways to close them. We gave you some of the scripts that I've used for years to close them. I've done it all. Every single one of those 21s, literally done it all. Declan's done them all. So we know it can be done and it is doable. As you progress in this, you'll find the one you like the most and the one that becomes like your bread and butter, like Declan keeps referring to, right? For me, it's always been like the warm. I'm very big on the warm. Like I like to warm them up even before I start talking to them. I'll give them a bunch of free stuff. I'll give them a bunch of free education. And then they'll either come to me over time or eventually I'll ask for the business if like they're somebody I get to know and I want to do business with, or I see their business and it's starting to shine, or it's a local business that I really do want to support. So there's a lot of different things you can do here. So Declan, this was absolutely amazing. I want to make sure that, we do a massive shout out for anybody that doesn't know. Here's his YouTube channel. We'll be linking it also in the bottom. Check him out. Again, obviously he knows what he's talking about. He's showed you different ways. He's got awards to prove it in the back. More importantly, I've seen some of his work, some of his videos. They're out there. And again, whether you're getting the resources from me, from Declan, I keep telling Declan, there's plenty of fish in the sea, and then more importantly, we all grow when we all kind of like showcase different talents. But my job is to always bring you the best of the best and ensure that you have the information you need to, one, succeed, get out there and get clients, and then more importantly, find other individuals like myself who really truly want to help people out there to grow and succeed in whatever they're doing, right? So at the end of the day, check Declan out. Make sure you check out his channel, boost him up. Make sure you guys get in there. You know, he's in our free school community too, so don't be afraid to tag him and just say what's up. But at the end of the day, though, I hope you guys are learning a lot. Declan, thank you again for being on, man. That was really some pretty solid stuff, and we'll see you all in the next one.
Thanks for having me, Nuno. I seriously appreciate your time.